what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the fucking thing, and you
figured
in
it
the
out.
face, and you said, "No, fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about?" And I watched you lie.
All's fair in love and war until things get a little too messy. After their very public relationship and even more public breakup, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are finally going to court to settle scores with one another once and for all. But don't be fooled, because this isn't just your average case of bitter exes. It's something much more disturbing. Picture this. It's 2009, and Johnny Depp is one of Hollywood's hottest leading men, starring in an upcoming film with an actress named Amber Heard. The two make a pretty good-looking couple on screen, and, well, let's just say that the sparks were flying off screen as well. Depp and Heard met on the set of their film, The Rum Diary, where they formed an instant connection with one another. However, both of them were dating other people at the time, with Depp even having 2 kids with his longtime partner, Vanessa Paradis. So, once the film wrapped up, they went their separate ways, only to reunite 2 years later. Now, at this point, the whole thing is nothing short of a fairy tale. By some strange coincidence, both the actors ended up splitting with their partners and linked up sometime late in 2011 or early 2012, and realized that the previous sparks were very much still there. However, this is also the point where some red flags were raised, and unfortunately also ignored. When Heard had broken up with her partner, Tessa Van Ree, she had been charged with physical assault after Heard had allegedly grabbed and hit Van Ree's arm with a bunch of cops witnessing the situation. So it's safe to say that the actress clearly has a history of being violent with her partners. However, the charges were dropped, with Van Ree claiming that the cops had wrongfully accused Heard just because she was a celebrity. Somehow the news just never made it past 1 or 2 news cycles, and by 2014, Heard was spotted wearing an engagement ring, showing just how serious things were between her and Johnny. Then, only a year later, Depp and Heard got married in a private ceremony, making all of this look like the perfect whirlwind romance. But that soon came crashing down when the couple suddenly announced that they were getting a divorce after only being married for 15 months. So what happened to them that led to such a sudden divorce? The first story that we heard was from Heard, who claimed that her ex-husband had been extremely violent, always being under the influence of drugs and alcohol, after which he would physically harm her, leaving terrible bruises. Heard even filed a restraining order against the actor, shocking the whole world at what was unfolding here. All of this obviously meant that their relationship was now on display for the whole world to see. At once, people started calling Depp a wife, and studios started distancing themselves from him. According to Depp's representatives, this was nothing but Amber's way of trying to secure a premature financial resolution by pressuring the actor with allegations. After all this, the situation came to a close when both parties decided on a settlement of $7 million, with Amber withdrawing her restraining order. The two then released a joint statement saying that their relationship was extremely passionate, but neither of them ever intended to hurt the other in any way. Amber allegedly also donated the money from the settlement to charity, which technically would make her the good guy, right? Wait till we tell you that all of this was actually a lie to make sure that she created a good public image. In fact, Depp's lawyers have actually revealed that the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, where Heard said that she donated the money, wrote to Depp's financial advisor in 2019 to let him know that the payment never came through, showing just how shady the actress really is. But wait, there's more, because this situation gets shittier. Now, you'd expect that once the divorce was done, that would be it, right? Well, that didn't happen, since Heard brought the whole thing up again in 2018 when she wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post where she talked about DV and the way women were treated for speaking up about it. Now, she didn't mention her ex-partner's name in the piece, but heavily implied that she had been emotionally scarred in such a relationship in the past, obviously leading people to believe that she was talking about none other than Johnny Depp. After the piece came out, Johnny was once again on the receiving end of the whole thing, but he went ahead and took an aggressive approach, suing the actress for defamation, saying that she was falsely accusing him to try and make herself look good while also destroying his career. At the same time, Depp also sued 2 publications that had published pieces about him being an accuser without any kind of verification. So it's safe to assume that things were heating up a little bit at this point. But the real shocker came in 2020 when a bunch of leaked phone recordings exposed Amber's true nature to the world, proving that she was the abuser in the relationship all along. The actress is heard saying things like she gets so mad sometimes that she loses all sense of things, and admitted to having physically assaulted Depp multiple times while continuing to gaslight him if he tried to confront her. Now, this obviously turned the whole situation around, leaving everyone confused. However, the only hope that the people had now was the outcome of all these trials, where Heard would have to provide the world with explanations. The first trial began in July 2020, and Heard's opening statements consisted of her speaking about the kind of treatment that Depp had allegedly put her through. In response, Depp talked about Amber's affairs and her tendency to get physically violent over the smallest things, with the most shocking revelation being the fact that she had actually defecated in his bed after one of their arguments. Didn't we tell you that this situation was going to be getting shittier than you expect? Haha, hashtag Amber Turd. But after all this, Depp ended up being on the losing end of the trial, with Amber emerging as the innocent one. The actor lost some pretty big contracts, including his role as Grindelwald for the Fantastic Beasts franchise, along with his iconic role as Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean films. At this point, people believed that this was the end of Johnny Depp as we know it. But the actor did fight till the very end and tried to appeal the court's decision, but it looked like the situation just wasn't going in his favor. So he decided to let it go and focused on the $50 million lawsuits that he had filed against Amber Heard for her Washington Post op-ed grounds of defamation. With the pandemic and all the chaos that ensued after, the trial was delayed time and time again until April 2022, when Heard and Depp were officially called to court as the whole world had their eyes on them, waiting to see what the true story really was. In the opening statements, Heard's lawyer stated that the article she wrote wasn't about Depp at all, because if it was, it would have had terrible details considering all that the man had allegedly done to her. Depp's lawyers, however, maintained that Amber Heard was lying to ruin the actor's reputation. But the real shock was when the actor himself went up on the stand and openly stated that Heard, and not him, was the abuser in their dynamic. He talked about their relationship completely changing once they had gotten married, with Heard growing increasingly impatient and violent. Then the situation escalated and she started emotionally manipulating Johnny, making him believe that he was the bad guy. Now, for those of you who don't know, Depp comes from an abusive family, where his mother exhibited a lot of the behaviors that Heard had subjected to him. So this entire situation was extremely traumatic for him, making it unable for him to escape or know what to do except just try and hold on to the hope that they could get through all of this. But this led to the actor being put in several dangerous and even life-threatening situations, where the actress actually sliced one of his fingers off by throwing a bottle of vodka straight at him. The infection from the injury was so bad that the actor was at a high risk of developing sepsis, which would have killed him within a few hours. That was the extent of the abuse. At the time, Depp mentions that he lied to the doctors about how the whole thing was an accident just to protect his then wife. But that obviously wasn't all. According to Depp, Amber would often instigate fights, and as much as he tried to avoid them, locking himself in bathrooms and leaving the house, she wouldn't stop, throwing anything and everything she could find at him. Depp also presented several recordings as proof of Amber's mistreatment. "I was hitting you, not punching you," she says to Depp in one of them. "You're a fucking baby. You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up." Coming back to the infamous poop incident, that was also after Amber had physically assaulted Johnny, and when he had left the house, begging her not to follow him, she had gone ahead and defecated in his bed as a twisted act of revenge. With this kind of mental torture, the actor became terribly addicted to drugs and alcohol, since he didn't know how else to deal with the pain. Every time he would try to sober up, Heard would start another fight, and that would be the end of that. However, according to Depp, the poop incident is what really made him put his foot down, and after that, he knew that he just couldn't stay with the woman anymore. Johnny vehemently states that he is the actual victim. He ended his statements by playing a recording of Amber Heard daring him to go out into the world to talk about the DV he was subjected to, saying that no one will ever believe him because he's a man.
Tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence. And
Yes.
It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
So, Plug Gang, what are your thoughts on the situation? And who do you think will come out as the winner in this royally messed up situation? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the next one.